Howdy folks, so alongside the videos I'm making about Sleep Token as I'm going on the journey all the way from the original EPs up to even in Arcadia and trying to work out, I don't know, the lore and all of the different facets that go into making this a wonderful piece of musical theatre, I'm kind of doing a little companion series here with the isolated vocals, because obviously as a voice and performance coach, I find it fascinating. I would love to have been in the studio with, Fleetwood Mac in the 70s, or I would love to have been in the studio, even with bands like Take That in the 90s, to have seen what went into producing huge rock songs, huge pop songs, huge R&B songs. And so I take a big interest in this. It's a big hyper focus of mine. And so, with that said, we've reached the final song in EP1 by Sleep Token. So, here is, and I realise a lot of this is already quite isolated vocally wise, but I would like to take a little deep dive into it. So, from EP1 by Sleep Token, this is the isolated vocals of When the Bough Breaks.
You can stay alive.
I'll let it run for a bit and then I'll comment.
Just tell me that you notice, even in the dark, the way I left you breathing. Sometimes when we touch, everything we love resist. It's only just enough, even when we run with death. We can be released, flowing over sorrow days. We can stay suspended, even when the bough breaks. Sometimes when we touch, everything we love resists. It's only just enough, even when we run with death.
Okay, so let's take a little dive into that. The first thing that strikes me is that although it's a very rich harmony and has been chosen very specifically for when there is the top line, like "we could be suspended," where Vessel, or rather the man behind the mask, goes into that really expressive falsetto line. Firstly, there are two voices here at all times, I believe. There is an octave, there is a main line that we hear. That's often the melody line that you would sing when you're listening to any song, any pop song, any rock song. There is the melody line, but then there is the octave below, a very supported, a kind of depthy voice there, which is giving us kind of a male voice harmony, kind of a male voice choir harmony vibe to this. But the thing that strikes me more than anything else is just how deliberately sloppy it is. Just how deliberately these voices don't come in at the same time. They don't take breaths at the same time. This isn't produced to within an inch of its life. It isn't tuned. It's left very, very organic, and there must be a reason behind that. Actually, what it does is I find it a little bit disconcerting. We've rather had our ears cultured, at least in the last 20 or so years, to everything being, tuned to within an inch of its life, the minutiae of every song being compressed and equalized, and this rather feels like it's like a Medusa's head singing it. They're all on the same page, but they're all their own entities attached to some central body. And it makes, when you first, let's go back to the first breath.
You can stay alive.
The V doesn't stop at the same time.
Just tell me that you notice.
The S's don't align.
Even in the dark,
And there was only one K there.
the way I left you breathing. Sometimes when we touch,
It actually does move in and out. Just to maybe play devil's advocate to my original point, it does move in and out of structure. So while some of the lines there, like I only heard one dark, the K of dark to finish that. If this was musical theatre, if this was, you know, an opera, an operetta, and one was the director or musical director, you would be directing everybody to come off on the same consonant, to come off at the same time. So when it ebbs and flows between coming off at the same time and not, that's where it becomes fascinating.
everything we love, we say.
There were like 3 or 4 different breaths happened there, and then every voice came in at the same, at different times there. It's fascinating.
Even when we run with death, we can be released.
Oh, a voice came in a little bit later then.
Flowing over sorrow days.
Top line.
We can stay suspended.
Takes more prominence on we be suspended.
Even when the bough breaks. Sometimes when we touch everything we love, resist. It's only just enough.
It's almost like there was a mistake there on it's only just it's fascinating. It's almost like one of the voices, one of the takes pulls back. Something that isn't often done in modern music, and I think a great credit should be given to both Vessel and George Lever for being able to. I wouldn't say it's risky. Listen, it was their first EP, so to close the third track they've ever released, for it to be so moody and so dramatic and so disjointed in its vocal delivery, yet perfect in the musical performance, which obviously isn't attached here. I have done a video on when the bough breaks. If you'd like to, it's probably up here in the corner where I can't point to. Anyway, we're going to jump ahead to the next vocal part. So, disjointed, is that the right word? It feels unsettled or unsettling. Reverb and pan delay. And what's going to happen now is the vocal layering will start to begin at the end of the 2 bars time. Sure, there's a third harmony in there already. There's a second line of Don't Lie to Me. There it is, very prominently. we've often discussed about what is this lyric in the background because it's so buried in the mix. But it does sound that while there is a voice, it does sound like rather, while there is a voice saying, "Don't lie to me," that very sweet melody line, that we've got that drone of "lie to me" in the background. Whether or not the "don't," and again, what one can only, in Sweet Token's done a fantastic job with all of the isolated vocals on these. There's only so much you can do with technology in order to pull it out without having the original stems from the source recording. But that "lie to me" swells into like almost like a left hand pan and then comes back again. Again, may just be the mix. So yes, without a doubt, two very separate voices there. One carrying the melody line, one saying "don't lie to me," and the other underneath in that lower voice saying "lie to me." Oh, I fucking love this band. So just lie. So Vessel, the man behind the mask, is in this vocal performance in the studio. It sounds like he's going from his doing something quite clever, which is being able to go up into his falsetto voice and then come back down into maybe a head mixed voice as well. Let me just try and illustrate that to you. So, hate to be alone. Very thin falsetto. I haven't warmed up, whatever. I don't fucking care. We're doing his voice, not mine. Try to turn away from. It's really difficult for me to place as a tenor because my falsetto is in no way as strong as Vessel's, but that try to turn away from. You have to drop your soft palate in order to go, once you're sat in your falsetto voice and you're singing up there, you can have a lot of control. And when you're just singing in one register, sometimes that's quite easy unless you're belting over and over again, which is fucking exhausting. So, for example, try to turn away from. He's coming. I'm having to really tilt into that because it is still falsetto, but it requires a lot of control to drop down into one of those notes and then float back up again like the ethereal, sexy goblin twat that he is. Ooh, it's out of tune. It goes sharp. That's brilliant. Never heard that in the mix. That's brilliant. That makes me even more excited about it because you know how I much prefer an authentic performance over a fucking auto-tune nonsense wankfest. So the idea that it's been left in the mix, but we've never once have I ever gone, "Ooh, he's a little bit sharp then," and therefore that means that it's only added to it. It's not by design, I imagine, but the fact that this is all so natural, it almost leans into the fact that we've had all of these creaks at the beginning, we've had these breaths, we've had these voices coming in at all different times, even to the point where we've left it alone for it to be so natural that it's even ever so slightly out of tune. That's brilliant. Because if you go back and listen to the stems from fucking Rumours, for example, a lot of times they're out of tune. But as a band, as a collective, as a noise, as music that they make together, it just sounds on fire. And so this is, it's like curry to a pisshead for me. it genuinely goes a little bit sharp on occasion. I had absolutely no idea in the mix. That's tremendous. That only adds really to the fascination I have with this being an authentic experience. And also, it suits EP1, I think. It rather suits Sleep Token. It suits the eeriness. And also, if we're going to go back to potentially the lore at this point as well, of the man, the character, Vessel, finding his feet in this new potential relationship with a deity called Sleep. So there is an imbalance here. And the last song on the opening record is a little bit vocally not chaotic, but it's messy. But because relationships are messy. This relationship is messy. It is imbalanced, and therefore to use that, to leave stuff in there that isn't necessarily just so, adds even more to that feeling that they're trying to create on EP1. Anyway, fantastic. Thank you very much for sitting here and watching that. I hope it helps. These isolated vocals I find utterly fascinating, so I'm going to continue to do these videos. And next, of course, will be EP2. On screen now are all of my members on Ko-fi. Thank you so much for supporting me. You really are the lifeblood of everything that I do. If you want to become a member on Ko-fi, you get early access to my videos. You get special exclusive videos like when I'm on the road. You get to vote in polls for what we do on Twitch streams. You get to, if you become a sub on Twitch, you get to discounts on merch, and there's all sorts of shit. Listen, if you'd like to support me, there are numerous different ways. They're all in the description below. Of course, you can like this video and follow the channel as well. I never tell anybody to do that. And there's a bell, apparently, and then you get a notification and you never miss anything. Or don't. You're a free-range human. Literally do what you want. But what I would like you to do is have a lovely rest of your week, and I shall see you very soon for some more videos.